Are you thinking about getting solar panels, a home battery, or a smart energy system? There's one thing you need to know. That's the role of your local electricity network run by something called a DNO. So, what is a DNO? DNO stands for Distribution Network Operator. They're the people who manage the wires, cables, and substations that carry the power to your home. While you might pay your bills to Octopus Energy, Scottish Power, or another supplier, it's your DNO who keeps the power flowing. In this video, we'll break down everything you need to know about getting DNO permission in 2025. Here's what we'll cover. What a DNO actually does, the difference between G98 and G99 applications, export limits, and most importantly, how to avoid delays, costs, or system upgrades. We'll also explore the Tesla Powerwall 3 and the SIG Energy SIG Installer. Whether you're starting small or going big, this guide will keep you connected the right way. Before we start, a quick note on inverters. It's important you understand this key detail. Your system inverter matters a lot as it affects how your system connects to the grid. An inverter turns energy from your solar or battery into electricity your home can use. There are two main types when it comes to inverters. Standalone inverters, which work for solar or battery only, or hybrid inverters, which handle both in one unit. Hybrid inverters are getting more popular because they simplify your overall system and can make DNO approval easier. G98 versus G99. What's the difference? If you're adding tech to your home that can send electricity back to the grid, your DNO needs to know about it. And depending on the size, you may need permission before you install. This is to keep the grid safe and stable. Here are the key differences. G98 is for smaller systems, under 3.68 kilowatts per phase. These don't require prior approval. Your installer can go ahead and just notify the DNO after it's installed. G99 is for bigger systems, anything over 3.68 kilowatts. You must get full approval for this before any work starts, which usually takes 6 to 11 weeks, depending on your area and your DNO. It's important to factor that into your planning timeline. So the inverter's role. Now, it's not just about how many panels you have, it's the inverter that determines your export limit. If your inverter can push or export more than 3.68 kilowatts to the grid, you'll need a G99 application, even if you don't export that much. The DNO has to plan for a worst case scenario. If the local grid can't handle that much power, they may impose limits or require upgrades, like switching to a 3-phase connection, which is usually far too expensive. Here's a real-world example. Let's say you install a 4 kilowatt solar array with a 3.68 kilowatt solar inverter. Because that inverter stays below the 3.68 kilowatts, you can likely use the G98 route with no pre-approval needed. That's why some homeowners choose a slightly undersized inverter for a simpler, faster install. However, and this is the key thing, with modern high output panels and the option to add batteries or EV chargers, it's easy to go over that limit. Always speak to your installer about this first. Let's look at real systems, starting with Powerwall 3. It's an all-in-one battery with a built-in hybrid inverter. It stores 13.5 kilowatt hours and can output over 11.04 kilowatts continuously. That's powerful, but because it exports more than 3.68 kilowatts, you'll always need a G99 application. If you install more than one Powerwall, you might exceed DNO export limits. You could face delays or be asked to upgrade your grid connection. That's why it's so important to work with expert installers like us who know the DNO rules and your local grid. Tesla also offers expansion kits, so you can increase your storage without increasing your export. This allows you to future-proof your install without worrying about export limits down the line. Let's talk about the SIG Energy SIG Installer. It's modular, stackable up to 48 kilowatt hours, and has a flexible hybrid inverter. The system is great for tailoring to your home and grid capacity. Its smart export control helps avoid complex delays too. But again, if you combine it with large solar or EV charging, you might need DNO approval. Always speak to your installer first. Here's the G99 process and what to expect. Once your installer submits a G99 application, there are usually 3 outcomes. Number 1, full approval with no extra changes needed. You can proceed with the install, no problem. 2, approval with limits, maybe a smaller system or a cap on how much power you can export. In some cases, a DNO may need to witness the install, especially if an export limit is used. 3, a major upgrade is required, like switching to a 3-phase connection. This can be costly and possibly project intrusive. The main question is though, can you avoid all this? Can you skip a DNO approval? You can install a zero export system. That means all power is used or stored on site. Nothing goes back to the grid. It can help fast track installation, but you won't earn from the smart export guarantee. So bear that in mind with your install. At the Natural Energy Company, we take care of the entire DNO process for you. From the first assessment to the final commissioning, we make it simple. We'll advise on system design, export limiters, and settings to help avoid delays or extra costs. Here's a question we get asked a lot. I'm installing a battery. I don't need DNO approval, right? Even if you're not installing solar, a battery that can export or act as a backup still needs DNO approval. Why? Because it still affects the local grid. Always remember that when speaking to your installer. As we begin to wrap up, here's one final note. Grid capacity is limited. It's first come, first served. If your neighbours get approved before you, you might run out of space for new exports on that supply line. So start early to avoid disappointment. Here are our final thoughts. Most homes can install up to 3.68 kilowatts of solar without needing special permission at all. But if you're planning anything bigger, you'll need to follow the DNO process. And with the right advice, it doesn't have to be a hassle. At the Natural Energy Company, we help design a system that works for your home, your budget, and your future. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more simple guides to smarter energy. We'll see you next time.